Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor, coming live as always from my office here in Hamilton, New Zealand. That's my license up there on the wall, which has been given to me by the government of New Zealand. And I also carry something called a wallet card. Okay, yep, there we are, which says that I am a New Zealand licensed immigration advisor, and I am licensed by the government of New Zealand to give advice about moving to New Zealand and coming to, here as on a temporary or on a more permanent basis. For those of you who follow my work, and already some of you guys are already saying hi, hello to everybody, and the work of my team, we guys specialize in helping people to move to New Zealand. A large amount of work we do is with international students who desire to come to New Zealand and not only acquire a good high quality education in this beautiful country, but most of them also look forward to going and finding work after completing their course and hopefully get that very coveted residency and be able to continue to live in New Zealand. So we are now beginning to do this live Q&A sessions on Facebook, and hopefully at some point we will start off with YouTube as well. But let's kick off today with some questions from one of our existing students called Ravi Sharma. Ravi, you have been messaging me throughout the evening, and I promised I will answer your question. So Ravi Sharma's question is, Dear Arun, many thanks for your support. First, you're welcome. Firstly, my concern is that I'm having 7 years of experience in finance and accounting. So I'm looking for a course which is easier and in demand, and I could get a job after course and want to permanent settle in New Zealand. Second thing, accounting job is tough for me. So also suggest any course which will not waste my past 7-year experience and also can get job other than accounting. Well, Ravi, I think there are two questions and they seem to be contradictory a little bit, because on one hand you say that you have 7 years of experience in finance and accounting, but in the second half of your question you're also saying that you're not that accounting job is tough for you and you're looking at other options. So I think first you need to make up your mind whether you want to continue in accounting or not, because within business field, accounting is probably the most technical aspect of courses or papers inside business. So it is almost a good thing to have a technical stronghold like accounting. If you move away from accounting in business, I mean, the others are not as technical. For instance, if you take something like administration or you take something like sales and marketing, it's not as technical. So accounting is probably the most technical aspect of business. But you also seem to, so if it's your passion and you already have 7 years of work experience in that, I would suggest continue with it. But your second half is a bit more interesting, because you say you find accounting job tough. So can you suggest any other course which will not waste my past 7 years? So I mean, obviously we would recommend a course which is a bit more generic, like a postgraduate diploma in business or a graduate diploma in business, or one of those courses which is not specific only to accounting but covers various other aspects of business like admin, marketing, sales, and HR, and so on and so forth. So basically, once you complete that course, you will have options to seek employment in any one of those areas. So to cut a long story short and to start today's question and answers with your question, I think if you are a good accountant, you must stick to accounting. If you are not a good accountant and your heart is not in that and you would rather do something, then talk to our team and we will provide you with a course which is more generic and not specific to accounting. So the decision has to come from you. And as I said, yeah, you make up your mind and we'll help you with whatever your choices. Hope I answered that. Right, let's moving on to the next questions. Vipul is saying hello. Siddhartha is saying hello. Hi, guys. Okay, Matan Kumar for some reason doesn't like us. He says, please don't come to New Zealand for studies or anything. Kindly don't contact HAV. I don't know what grouse Matan has got either with New Zealand or with AJV, because he is definitely not one of our clients. So I really don't know where his anger is coming from. But it's a good point he has raised, because there is a lot of negative feedback about New Zealand, and while there are many young students who aspire to come to New Zealand, it looks like some of the students who have already come here, I don't know, I mean, I have absolutely no clue about this particular person, but who he is or why he is coming out with negative comments. But if you go onto YouTube, and I will share this myself, there are a lot of people who get onto YouTube yeah, and say things like, don't come to New Zealand, there are no jobs here, and it's you know, there are very negative comments about New Zealand on YouTube and various other places. There are a couple of websites as well. So I think there is some truth to it, because only 19% of international students, according to one of the last surveys that was conducted, actually go on to move into residency. And because of that, there is obviously a much larger chunk, about 81% of students are not able to achieve their long-term goals. So obviously they will be frustrated. I can see where this person's frustration is coming from. And which is where I keep saying that New Zealand is not for everybody. New Zealand is for a certain quality of student. We require the right skills, we require the right attitude, we require the right knowledge. If you're not up to it, you will not make it as simple as that. Of course, you know, you have, it's a free world and you can express your frustrations when you don't make it. So which is why as a company at AJV, what we're doing is we are ensuring we are choosing the right people to be able to come here, because we know you want that long-term success. So because of that, we are putting in that effort right from this session, you know, where we are being so open and telling you, don't come if you don't have the right skills, attitude, and knowledge. But at the same time, we are also like not discouraging people not to come here, because international education is a large industry now for New Zealand, and it is going on to become a very large industry for us. So I understand international students, most of them want to stay back, but unfortunately, we simply don't have the capacity for everybody to stay back in New Zealand. So, but 19% out of 120 or 130,000 students every year is still a lot of places available. So if you are one of those talented young people who have the right skills, knowledge, and attitude, in fact, you will make it. And in fact, when I meet some of our students who are successfully now moved into residency, you know, that we all have a laugh about comments like this. So, well, all the best, Matan. For whatever reason you chose not to like us, but that's fine. We love you still. Okay. Yeah. Right. Aaron Kong. Hi, Aaron. How was the cost of living in Hamilton as compared to the South Island? Okay. Right. This is Aaron Kong. So, team, if we have anything on Aaron, please let me know. Cost of living in Hamilton as compared to the South Island. I don't know which part of South Island you're talking about, Aaron. South Island would essentially have uh, two large cities, Christchurch and Dunedin. Then there are other smaller cities like Nelson and Greymouth, and uh, I'm trying to think of Kaikoura and a few other places. Invercargill, of course, and Queenstown. These are all South Island cities. I think the living standards in Hamilton would be comparable to some of these other cities in the South Island. I think it would definitely be lesser than Auckland. So I think it will compare quite well. All right. Yeah. Ronnie Samuel has got question marks. I don't know why. Ayush Bhatia says, can you explain level 6 pathway to a residency? Ayush Bhatia, team, if there is anything on Ayush Bhatia, please let me know. In the meantime, I can quickly say level 6 pathway to residency. Ayush, if your level 6 is a 2-year course, and which is 5 and 6, and if you have not mentioned what subject, you only said in Auckland, depending on what your subject is. But if it's a 2-year course, then you would be eligible to get a post-study work visa, like any other international student. In that post-study work visa, you will need to obviously get a relevant job to the course you have completed. And then based on that relevance of the employment to the course you have completed, there's a good possibility you will then go on to get further work visas, or if you cross that threshold of salary, which is $50,523, which is the threshold for residency, then you could possibly also apply for residency. So, yeah, since you haven't mentioned in our chat whether what subject we are not able to help you, and we also don't have you on our records as an AJV student. Suggest you get in touch with our team. Actually, our team also will get in touch with you during this chat or after this chat, and we will explore possibilities of what can be done in terms of your background and the subject you're choosing. Okay, all the best, Ayush. But yeah, the chances can be there. Level 5, if you're doing a 5 and 6, then you will get the postal work. Okay. Right, Rajesh Waghmode. It is in Hindi, and he asks, "What is the pathway?" Rajesh Waghmode. What is the pathway Fiji to New Zealand? The pathways are the same, Rajesh. Rajesh Waghmode. His name is in Hindi team. So if you guys can check and let me know if he's one of us talking to us, let me know. But Rajesh, the pathway is the same, irrespective of excuse me, which country you're from. The pathways are simple. Either it's the skill migrant pathway or the study plus settle pathway or the entrepreneur pathway or the investor pathway. So these are pretty much the common pathways. So we don't have adequate background about you in just this particular session. But our team will connect and gather more information, and based on that, we'll be able to suggest the best pathway for you. Also, we need to know whether you're single or married, or if you're married, whether you have children, how old are you, if your health is all right, if your character is all right. All those things also have to be looked into. So we will have a look at all those, and based on that, we will make a suggestion. And I think the most important thing we need to look at is also your financial capability, because practically every pathway will require a certain amount of money. So we need to be, sure we are also dealing with someone who's got the capability for any particular pathway. All right. Okay. Aaron says, thanks. I will be in touch with Sai. Sure, Aaron. And he also says, hopefully I'll be able to meet you in person in Hamilton. Yeah, sure. If you're coming to Hamilton, absolutely, we would love to meet you, Aaron. And I'm continuing to look at some of the other questions here. In the meantime, I'm also jumping into some of the other questions that we keep getting through our inbox chat as well. Right. So what else? I don't. Okay, Rajesh says he's from India, Rajesh Waghmode. So it does not seem to be from Fiji, but for some reason he did ask about Fiji. And then there is, there are not a lot of questions coming through. So what I might like to talk about while we are waiting for that is the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand. Now, as you guys know, there is something called a long-term skill shortage of New Zealand. And the latest edition of this long-term skill shortage of New Zealand was released on the 19th of February 2018. Basically, what the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand is, it says clearly that this list is part of government temporary entry immigration instructions as described in Section 22 of the Immigration Act 2009 and government resident instructions as described in Sections 22 and 23 of the Immigration Act 2009. So essentially what the long-term skill shortage list is basically what it says in proper English is that as a country, New Zealand has got shortages in particular areas. And so the government and the immigration department in consultation with industry has put together a list. And if you read through the list, this is available on the immigration website, by the way, you will see that there are openings for, there is a shortage of people in the construction industry. There is a shortage of people in the engineering industries. There's a shortage of people in finance and business, but only one particular role called procurement manager. We have a shortage of professionals in health and social services. We have a shortage of people in also ICT, electronics and telecommunications. ICT or IT, as most of you tend to call it, is also in our shortage at the moment. And we also have a shortage of people in recreation, hospitality, and tourism, but there are specific roles in each one of this. And then there is also a shortage of people in sciences, like environmental science, research scientists, other spatial scientists, food technologists. And then we have something called trades. Now, trades are basically things like electricians and motor mechanics and electric line mechanics. So these are called trades, which are normally also termed as blue collar jobs. So these are not white collar jobs. So these are some of the occupations and industries that are in shortage in New Zealand. So if people are trying to understand what opportunities are there in New Zealand, so these are some of the opportunities. Okay. We got some more questions. Amit Rajwar. Amit Rajwar asks, what are the expenses to pursue MS in civil engineering from a good university in New Zealand? And please recommend some good universities and colleges. Good question, Amit. What are the expenses to pursue MS in civil engineering? It's the same. I mean, it has to be the tuition fees and the living expenses. So if the MS you're looking for is for 1 year, then you're looking at tuition fees for 1 year. If you're looking at an MS in New Zealand for 2 years, you're looking at tuition fees for 2 years. By and large, I think most masters are 1 year or some of them are 2 years. And depending on the institution you choose, I think is how much the cost would be. But approximately I think an MS in civil engineering should be around between 25 to 30,000 New Zealand dollars. That is the tuition fee per annum, per year. And over and above that, you also need to show the living expenses for each year, which will be $15,000 per year. So assuming that the course is $25,000, tuition fees, and the living expenses is $15,000, you will obviously need to show funds of $40,000. That for the $15,000 living expenses, sometimes immigration department might ask you to transfer them to New Zealand in something called the funds transfer scheme, so that they are assured that you have the money. So that's pretty much the amount of money you require, Amit. And my team confirms that you're not working with us at the moment. I would request you to consider working with AJV, because obviously from your question, I can see you're an individual who's looking at a good high level of course, and from a skill shortage area, which I was just reading out. As I said, engineering, we have a few shortages. Civil engineering is definitely in the shortage list, and you're also looking at good universities. Good universities, there are quite a few good universities. Top of my mind for civil engineering, I would probably recommend University of Canterbury in Christchurch. That's a very good university. We would recommend it. AUT in Auckland is also a very good university. In fact, last night I was watching news about the fact that AUT is now planning to build a massive infrastructure for something called CEL, the STEM subjects, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Yeah, so that's what. So I would recommend AUT in Auckland and University of Canterbury in Christchurch. These two would probably be very good institutions. There are other institutions, but these would be my top picks. Okay, and Amit, request you to connect with our team. We would love to work with you, because as I keep telling everybody, it is not just getting an admission and visa that any agency can do. What is more important is to get proper support when you reach New Zealand, and that is where we guys are different, because we will work with you continuously, not just during your admission and visa, but even after you land in New Zealand. So I think you're a good student. We would love to work with you, so please connect with the team. Right. Okay, we're getting a few answers now, questions now, and next one is from Ronnie Samuel. Sounds familiar, Ronnie, for some reason, your name. I think we interacted in the past before. Okay, Ronnie Samuel is the next one, team. Ronnie is asking, hi, this is for my friend. How was the scope for hotel management in New Zealand? Candidate is finishing his BCom now in India. Ronnie, this is also a question that comes quite often, and I don't know if it is for your friend actually or for yourself, doesn't matter. The answer is the same, and just as I suggested to Amit before you, please connect with our team if it is for yourself. If it is for your friend, please connect your friend to us because I'm putting in the effort and the courtesy of answering your questions. Please give me back the courtesy of connecting yourself and your friend to our team. So that's my only expectation from putting in this effort. But scope for hotel management in New Zealand has to be good because we are a country that is very largely dependent on tourism. And tourism is our biggest industry in the country. We have dairy, we have international education, we have information technology and a few other biotechnology and a few other tourism industry, fisheries, meat, all these are growing as well. But tourism is right on top of our industries, and it is our biggest money earner. So when there are millions of tourists coming into New Zealand, the hospitality industry has to be right up there, and that's the reason we have a shortage of chefs because tourists have to be fed, and tourists also have to be given accommodation, and which is where I think hospitality managers and hospitality professionals will come into the picture. So my understanding, in my opinion, hospitality graduates will do well in New Zealand. So I suggest that your friend also connect with us, and we will absolutely put in front of him all the different options that are there. Quickly checking if I have any responses from my team, and they say, Ronnie, my team says you're not in our record, so please connect. And as I said, tourism is a good opportunity, and hospitality is also a good opportunity. So I think your friend should consider coming to come to New Zealand, because this is a very tourism oriented country. All right, I hope I answered that question. Pranav ESP. Next question is from Pranav ESP. Hello, sir. With 2 years experience in engineering, is it possible to apply for PR? Pranav, as I keep saying in my videos and my other live Facebook sessions and all that stuff, if you're outside New Zealand and you're trying to apply for PR, which is what most of you call it, it is actually called residency. It is almost impossible because there are two conditions to be met. The first condition is that you need to have employment in New Zealand or a job offer in New Zealand as condition one. Or condition two is that you need to have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years and have completed either a master's or a PhD. So these are like the two mandatory requirements for anybody to be able to move forward in a resident visa application. The other requirement, of course, is that a calculation of your points for your age, your qualification, your work experience, and if you're married, your partner qualification, and if you have employment in New Zealand, what kind of employment and all that has to be taken into consideration. And 160 points need to be, is the current pass mark to be able to move forward. So if you're not in New Zealand, you will need to get yourself first into New Zealand, because when you're outside New Zealand and you're trying to apply for jobs, it's almost impossible. This is again something I keep repeating quite a lot. Not a lot of employers would be keen to look at candidates who are outside New Zealand and try to give them the opportunity to work in New Zealand, but there are already lots and lots of very good talented people locally here in New Zealand already. And this includes not only our local New Zealand Kiwi graduates, but it also includes a lot of very talented international students and people on temporary work visas who are also present in New Zealand. So there is already a very large pool of talented people in New Zealand. So if you're outside New Zealand and trying to get either a job or trying to apply for residency, it's almost impossible, which is why I recommend most of the times I suggest get yourself into New Zealand, get yourself into a good course, study at a good level so that you get a post-study work visa. So do a 1-year course, and then in that 1 year you're also able to work part-time, so you can get some experience, local New Zealand experience, and then after you complete the course you get the post-study work visa and you can go and seek relevant jobs. And that's how you fulfill that condition that you have a job in New Zealand, plus you're present in New Zealand, and so it makes it a lot easier. So hope I've answered. There are specific videos on my YouTube channel, which explains this more clearly. So have a look and also connect with our team. Pranav, my team says that you're still not in touch with them, but you have shown an interest, so please have a chat with our team. And it's not like just because you've shown an interest, we'll push you into New Zealand. We are not people like that. Our job is to put all options in front of you guys. We never force anybody to take any decisions. Yes, we are a business, but we are a highly ethical business, and we are trying to choose only those people who can succeed in New Zealand or have a reasonable amount of success in New Zealand. So we will ensure that we give you the right advice. All right. So do connect with the team for now. Okay. Right. I got a quick message from my. This is what I'm going to check if there's an inquiry. Okay. Right. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Ijal Quintana. I hope I pronounced that right. Ijal asked, in regards to age limit, would 40s are able to get a job? I bloody well hope they are, because I'm in my 40s. So now I think, Ijal, I don't think it's a question of age. I mean, obviously, as you're getting older, my employers might say, oh, but this guy is, in his 40s. I'm in my 40s, by the way. So which is why I was like strongly saying I better hope you guys get jobs. But I think there is a possibility of, because one thing is, yeah, there is a disadvantage if you're in your 40s, which is employers might consider you as somebody who is not fresh any longer or not young any longer, which is, again, a little ridiculous, because I think you can be young up till 60 or 70, doesn't matter. But yes, there are a lot of people who are in their 40s and late 30s coming into New Zealand and finding jobs quite successfully. Again, as I started right at the start of this live chat, it may not be a cakewalk. It may not be that everybody who comes to New Zealand will find a job. I told you, it's going to be a rough grind, because it's not an easy market. It's a competitive market, so there is a lot of competition. But the other advantage of being in your 40s is that you also have good experience, which a lot of youngsters may not have. So an employer can look at you positively or negatively, but I think what will sway them in your favor is if your communication skills are very good, and you're able to sit across the table and convince an employer. I think they'll quickly disregard the fact that you're into your 40s and give you a job. So hope I have answered, and get in touch with our team, because I think there are other questions behind this question, and we would be happy to connect and give you more answers. And to everybody watching this live broadcast, guys, just to let you know, our team will connect with you during or after this session. So I would really be very pleased if you extend them the courtesy of at least sharing some more information, because like I said, we are not in the business of pushing anybody into a decision. That's the last thing we will do. In fact, I keep telling my team all the time, I'd rather shut down this company than create a situation where clients feel they're being given wrong advice. So we will never do that. So yeah, so just have a chat. We are like your friends with the right knowledge and the fact that we are present in New Zealand. So have a chat with us. There's absolutely no compulsions, no obligations, but talk to us, discuss, and if there is a possibility, we will tell you. If there's no possibility, we will also tell you and say, hey, look, don't try this, and you're probably better off in your country. So talk to us confidently and free of mind. We are not a pressurizing sales company who will then keep calling you and come and knock on you. We are not like that. In fact, the demand from different parts of the world for people to come to New Zealand is so high. Sometimes our entire team is not able to keep up with trying to talk to all of them. And we are, by the way, quite a large team. We are about 30 people right now, and we are spread across 3 countries. We are based in New Zealand. So we are a New Zealand company, but our teams are also in India as well as Dubai. So we are spread across different parts of the world. We are trying to achieve a 24/7 sort of ability where you guys can kind of keep reaching out to the team. We are still setting up those systems. But yeah, talk to us. We are nice and friendly and easy. See, I don't even wear a tie when I sit and do these things, because I feel more comfortable in a t-shirt. And also, we're dealing with a clientele which is very young, and they have a lot of questions. So we want to be your friends rather than your legal advisors and that sort of thing. So yeah, just feel comfortable, right? Had Dwivedi, hello sir, good evening. I had. Aaron says, by the way, my wife has been in the tourism industry in China and she's a qualified tour guide for New Zealand. Would it be difficult for her to adjust and eventually getting a job in New Zealand tourism industry? I don't think so, Aaron. In fact, I think she's coming in with a lot of um, solid experience and like any other country in the world, Chinese tourists are probably the highest coming into New Zealand as well. So I think she would actually have good opportunities. So good background. I think she would do quite well here. Yeah. Arti Trehan says that. I say that. Arti. Kirti Prakash Patak, please detail the cybersecurity courses, please. Kirti Prakash Patak team, just let me know if he is working with us or not. In the meantime, I will start talking about it. Kirti, cybersecurity courses, please. It's in the skill shortage or not. Skill shortages, IT is definitely an industry in the skill shortages. Whether this is, let me see if okay, in the skill shortages list, there is a particular designation called IT security specialist or ICT security specialist. So it is absolutely listed as a specific requirement in the long-term skill shortage list. So good course choice, Kirti. And I wonder, and I believe you're also in touch with our team member, Catherine. So fantastic. Well done. Congratulations. You're one of those smart guys working with a really good company. Fantastic. But yeah, it's a good course to choose, and I just cross-checked while we were talking to see if there's an actual match in the long-term skill shortage list. And cybersecurity courses, there will be a few options around the country. One option that comes to mind straight away is from an institution called Welltech, which is Wellington Institute of Technology in Wellington. I think that they have a very good course in cybersecurity, but that's the only one that comes to my mind right now. I'm sure there are other options. So continue to speak to Catherine, and she would put all the options in front of you. But as far as your course choice is concerned, I think it's a very good course choice, and I think the future going forward will be good. And yeah, we guys will help you with other aspects once you land in New Zealand. Okay, I hope I've answered that, Kirti, and thanks for working with us. Really appreciate that. Right, I have the next question from Suran D. Lanorol. Suran D. Lanorol. And he says, I would like to follow early childhood course in New Zealand. Even though I have done a management course, how about the job market, and will it be possible to apply for residence visa after I complete the course? Good question, Suran, and it's an interesting question. Tim, if you can quickly tell me about Suran. Suran D. Lanorol. It's an interesting choice you're making, because you say you've already done a course in management and now opting to go for cyber security, early childhood course. I like people like that who are willing to take a risk, and the team just confirmed that you're also in touch with Mukta, which is fantastic. Thank you for choosing to work with AJV, much appreciated. I like people who can jump out of their comfort zone and their rut and be able to move into a course that is close to their heart. I believe you're taking this decision to move into early childhood course because that's your passion. I keep saying this, and I'm so brutally honest with all you guys that this job that I do as a licensed immigration advisor is as good as it is. If I get an opportunity to become a filmmaker, I'll probably jump at it tomorrow. So that's my passion. I would love to be involved with the creative aspects of filmmaking and stuff like that. So we all end up getting into a career, and then some of us have a real deep passion inside us. So if you're at a crossroads and where you think that, yes, early childhood education is my real passion, and I love working with young kids, and I think there is definite scope for it. And the amount of growth in the early childhood education sector is also quite a lot in New Zealand. Also bear in mind that the government does a lot of funding for early childhood education in New Zealand, so there is constant growth of the industry that is happening. And just like any other student, if you're able to complete the course, we will of course put you into a very good institution. And once you complete the course and you get a relevant job, and then you get the required salary, you should be able to go into the pathway of residency. Just one word of caution: ensure that whatever course you're choosing, if getting a teacher registration is a mandatory requirement to be an early childhood education teacher, then ensure that the course you're doing will also allow you to be able to get that registration. So check with the team, check with Mukta, but thanks for choosing us. We will continue to talk to you, and I will, let's see if we can also connect you to somebody who's already in early childhood education so that you get some more inputs, okay? But thanks for choosing us, Suraj. Next question is from Mubarak Hussain. My wife, Mubarak Hussain team. My wife interested for a master's in New Zealand, but I have one daughter. My question is it possible to apply for both of us along with our daughter? If possible, then how much money need to show as a financial statement? Team, the name is Mubarak Hussain. And Mubarak, if your wife is opting to come for a master's in New Zealand, you will be eligible to come on a work visa. And you have not mentioned your daughter's age, but if she is below 17, then you should also be able to bring her on another dependent visa. And if she is below that age, then she will also be eligible to get local education as a domestic student. So the possibility definitely exists, Mubarak. One word of caution for you is that a lot of these agencies who deal with international students, uh, they will help you with the student visa of your wife. They will help with the admission and student visa of your wife. But if they do not have a license like how I have, and if that company does not have a licensed immigration advisor as part of their team or association, they will not be able to process your visa and your daughter's visa. So it is important you choose a company like AJV, which has not only got specialist student admission and visa advisors who are not in New Zealand but in other countries, but then there is also a licensed immigration advisor who can deal with the non-student visas like your work visa, and your daughter's student visa also can be dealt by us. So a lot of agencies are not sharing this information upfront with their clients and students. So they are, because obviously they don't want to lose the money that they are going to earn through that student recruitment. So after the student gets the visa, then they are saying, okay, you now have to apply for your work visa and the student visa. And although they are not licensed to do it, which is illegal, by the way, they are not supposed to do it as per New Zealand law. So they sometimes are asking clients to lie. They're trying to help them, but they're telling them, if immigration officer calls, say, I did it myself. But immigration officers are trained to catch these things. So the moment they know that there was an unlicensed advisor involved, so they will reject that visa. So it just leads to a lot of headache. Simple solution for you would be to work with a company like AJV for 2-3 reasons. One, we can do the visas for all of you, including your wife's admission and student visa, your visa and your daughter's visa. Plus, we are present in New Zealand, so even after you land, if you have any queries and questions, just like how we are asking now, this, interaction can continue. So I hope you choose us. Please expect a connection from our team. All right. Living for a better future. If you choose New Zealand to be your destination, please work only with AJV services, as they're very helpful with me. Thank you very much. Okay, it's great to hear that, because this live chat started with a guy who's, I forget his name, but he said, don't work with AJV services. And he was also, don't go to New Zealand. So thank you for your comment. Really appreciate that. And as I keep saying, New Zealand is not for everybody. But if you are good, this country will welcome you. So if you're not good, you'll end up as one of those guys cribbing online somewhere saying, don't go to New Zealand. So yeah, thank you so much for your compliment. We appreciate that, and we will stand by you. Okay, cool. Right. The next one is from Sandesh Maski. Besides all you guys, my team is also sending me smileys on Skype, so I have to deal with both. Okay, so Sandesh Maske says, "Hello, sir. How many hours is allowed for a dependent to work per week for a spouse who is coming for New Zealand? And is it there any legal option so that spouse coming as a visit visa can able to work?" Okay, Sandesh, if you are coming, I'm not sure if you're working with us. So how many hours is allowed for a dependent to work? Dependent normally will get a full work visa, so which means you can do 40 or more than that. Some people ask me, so can I do 80? Uh, uh, Sandesh, my team also tells me that you're working with us, but you're also looking at some other agency in Nepal or some other place. I don't know why. You should be working with a agency in New Zealand, not in Nepal, man, because you're coming to New Zealand. You're leaving Nepal and coming to New Zealand, so you need to work with us. So please make up your mind. We would love to work with you. I know you're in touch with Neha, so after this session, hopefully I'll convince you to work with us. But a spouse can work all the 40 hours. And sometimes people ask me, can I work 80 hours? So that's a good question, actually, because there is something called occupational health and safety, which is, again, a government regulation which says that people can't tie up themselves to a point where they'll fall dead at work. So obviously that is there. But spouse can work full time. And if spouses coming on a visitor visa, can he be able to work? No, you cannot, unless you convert that visit visa into a work visa. And another very good reason why you need to work with us, because you will need that advice, you will need that support after you land in New Zealand. And as I told you, I'm a licensed immigration advisor, and one of our senior managers is right now undergoing the course, the same course that I did, that one there. Yep. So she is also undergoing, Mary Joseph. She's our senior manager based here in Hamilton. So she's also undergoing the course at the moment, and we hope to see her get a provisional license shortly. So we will be there onshore to help you guys to ensure that your journey is smooth from start to finish. So stop working with that Nepal agency and work with us. We'll take care of you. Okay, Neha, nail this guy. Right. Matthew Dean, hi Arun, will get any points for graduate diploma level 7 1-year course? Yeah, I think you will, Matthew. Of course you will, Matthew. Team Matthew Dean, I think, is already one of ours, but just, yeah, just reconfirming that. Yes, Matthew, you will get points for a graduate diploma level 7. I think you get 50 points, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll quickly check that. Right, so I'm checking the points, and for a level 7, yes, you will get 50 points, Matthew. So I hope I have answered that query. Okay, yeah. Mohammad Habib, thumbs up, Mohammad. Nirmal Singh Bhatti, good afternoon. Arun Jacob, good afternoon, Mr. Bhatti. I want to consult you about my son and his wife, as they are already at Christchurch, New Zealand. Okay, Mr. Bhatti, yeah, please go ahead and connect with us. If you want to ask a question here, you can do it here. But if you're asking us to give a personal consultation to your son and his wife, we could do that. I give a paid consultation where I spend a good 1.5 or 2 hours, or however long it takes to understand what the situation. In fact, if there are people from New Zealand who are watching this broadcast right now, and who are already here, but not through AJB, but through other agencies, yes, we will speak to everybody. We are a local migration agency, so I'm happy to provide my time to anybody who wants good, concrete advice based on research and the current immigration law. More than happy to do it. Although for AGV students, I offer it free of cost, that advice and consultation. But for others, there is a small fee involved. And I suggest, and I actually recommend people to take paid professional advice, because immigration is not an easy matter. It's quite a tricky subject. So it's good to get professional advice. And you guys spend $25,000, $30,000 to come to New Zealand and establish yourself. So spend a few $100s and take the help of a professional advisor like myself. Sometimes when I say, hey, look, I charge X amount for consultation. They say, oh, but that's too much. They forget the fact that they're living in New Zealand, where it costs me, $150 or $200 just to call a plumber home or an electrician home, and just for him to come and have a look at my stuff, or even to fix a nice lampshade. It costs me that kind of money sometimes. So think professionally, because you're in New Zealand. Don't be afraid to spend that extra money and take a professional consultation. Right. So, Mr. Bhatti, please ask your son and daughter-in-law to get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to help them. They can actually get in touch with my colleague Mary Joseph, who will be on this chat, or in my friends list. So please ask them to connect, and we will definitely speak to them. But thanks for being part of this chat today. It's good to see some parents also being part of it, and I'm glad you are doing it, so that, and hopefully you will see what we are trying to do is we are trying to take your role after these young people come here. We want to be like their guardians, and to ensure that there is somebody constantly giving them advice, because it is a big bad world. Immigration and international education is not an easy world. It's a big bad world, and you require somebody who genuinely cares and gives that proper advice, which is what we guys are trying to do. Okay, Jijo George wants to know if registered nurses skill shortage list. I think they are gone, Jijo. They used to be there before, but I think they are gone now. It was there before, but I'll quickly cross-check that for you. Okay, skill employment. Nurses used to be there before, but I think they have been removed. Yes, I can confirm nurses are not in the long-term skill shortage list any longer. Okay, Jijo? And if you're in touch, and please also be in touch with our team. Okay, we'll take it forward. Sandesh has written again. Hello, sir. Thank you. Jijo, Jijo, my team is complaining about you, by the way. He says, my client, Jijo is my client, but he does not reply when pinged. Just connects to you, AJ, during the live chat. So there's a big complaint against you. I suggest please get in touch with the team. But jokes aside, Jijo, if you don't speak to the team, we can't help you. So please go ahead and speak, guys. Okay. Our team is a good bunch of people, guys. They are very friendly. They're very nice. They're wonderful people. And, so, have a chat. They'll be like your friends who will give you all the information. And the way we work is we're like a pyramid. So if they're not able to get that information, they'll check with the senior and the senior and the senior till it comes to me all the way to the top. So don't think only talking to me will always give you the information you're looking for, because we put our team through a very, very strict training period. And in fact, they're all forced to watch these live sessions so that they keep picking up all the other information as well. So please do not hesitate to talk to the team. A lot of you write and say, Arun, I want to speak to you only. I wish I could speak to each and every one of you individually, but with 300 inquiries coming in every day, I'll probably be dead by midday if I'm trying to answer each and every one of them. So yeah, please engage with the team. We will take care of you, okay? And all the decisions come all the way up to me when required. Okay. Okay, Sandesh has come back again. Sandesh, I will not answer your question till you confirm to me that you're going to work with us. How about that? Deal, okay? I'll come back to your question later. But you type and say, yes, publicly I confirm I'm going to work with AJV. How about that? Okay, okay, I'll be kind, okay? Your question is, after completing graduate diploma in business studies level 7, is there any chances of getting the job? And is there any possibilities that your team would help finding the job after completion of the studies? You have to first confirm, man, that you're going to work with us. Then I can give you all the answers. But okay, jokes apart. Business studies is generic. Please watch some of my videos on YouTube about business studies. The possibilities are there. People are finding jobs after completing business studies. So the possibilities definitely are there. And what would our team help you? Yes, we provide all our students with, I think, 3 or 4 very important things. We provide them with a very good template for a local New Zealand CV. We provide a very good template for a local New Zealand covering letter. We also provide the opportunity to network with some of the senior students who have done a similar course and ended up in jobs. And I think the last and most important thing we give them a lot of confidence and letting them know that, hey, look, we are there, don't worry. And we also, not only that, we also check all the job offers that come to our students, and because I'm a licensed immigration advisor, I look at it and say, hey, look, okay, yeah, this is good. This will help you to get your future visa. So there's a lot of support you'll get. So I really hope you will, work with us. Okay, Sandesh? Right, Chintapalli Jivan is the next question, and my team confirms that you're one of our clients. Thank you, Jivan. Always a pleasure to talk to one of our own. So thanks for choosing us. Appreciate that. Hi, sir. I'm a BA graduate from India and working for US healthcare process and BPR company in healthcare. I'm working for provider doctor. I call health insurance companies in US for the payment to the doctor for the treatment given to the insured patient. So May day to day works are like collection and cash application. In a word, I can say I work on pending claims for the payment law. I'm trying to do PGD in health management. Kindly tell me the course feature of this course. Now, you are working in a healthcare process for a company, but I think what you're doing is really more of a business process, really, Jivan, and not so much a health related course, health related process. So, and you're opting to do a course in health management. Now, team, I don't know, team, if you're listening in, I would like us to have a chat after this session about Jivan, because it looks like there is a slight mismanagement, because health management will have to see what papers are there and whether, because he has done a BA before and he's not obviously a science or a health related graduate. It's just that he's got a healthcare process in a BPO company. So I would say, Jivan, so I promise you I'll have a look at it personally after this chat is over, and we will come back to you with a very specific answer. At this moment, I'm not entirely comfortable with the course that has been suggested, PGD in health management. I could be wrong, because my team does do a fantastic job of matching, and they check the papers and everything, and they talk to you and all that stuff. So I'm not saying my team is wrong or I am right, or I'm just saying I will have a look at it, because, and that's the kind of attention each AGV student will get, where we ourselves are not 100% sure about the courses being suggested. 3-4 of us come together and discuss it. Your advisor, the service advisor, which is the person who will do your visas. Then there is a senior person in that service team who's an immigration professional. So that person will be involved. There's a senior manager who will get involved. I will get involved. So 4 or 5 of us will look at it and then present it back to you and say, maybe you need to consider these options. So we'll come back to you, okay? But thanks for choosing us, Jivan. Much appreciated. Sandesh has given me a... Okay, right. Apparently, Otago also called you and had a chat and spoke to you, Jivan, and said this course is fine. But I'm saying we'll have a look at it one more time, okay? Sandesh has given me 3 thumbs up. Does it mean you're working with us? I hope so. Okay, Lalit says hello. Jijo says thank you. Jijo says, yes, I agree, my mistake. Thank you, Jijo. Get in touch with the team. Thanks for saying you will. Jasveer saying, says, sir, Jasveer Singh, sir, will I get points for my Bachelor of Physiotherapy after registration only? I know it's very tough to get registration, so it seems I'm losing 50 crucial points. Most likely, yes, Jasveer. It's an interesting question. I'm not sure if you're already uh, in New Zealand. So I will not answer that question right now, Jasveer, because I'll need to do a bit of research and check the law before I answer that. So please connect with Mary Joseph, my colleague, and we will take up your case offline, because I don't want to answer and give wrong information. But we will check to see if registration only will give you the points. Right now, I can't think whether it will or not. So we will do some research and come back to you. Yeah. Okay, then Mr. Bhatti says back, and Jasveer is also our client. Yes, Jasveer, because you're also our client, we will definitely do that research and come back to you, but I don't want to give you information right now, which may not be correct. So please bear with us, we will come back to you. Yeah. Okay, and Jasveer says he's also got 8 bands in IELTS, which is fantastic. That's a great score, man. Well done. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Bhatti says he wants to share some information. I want to share some information about my son and his wife as under, but there is nothing about that under. So while Mr. Bhatti is typing, Tim, how am I doing on time? Do I have some more time to answer? Or is there anything else you want me to cover while Mr. Bhatti is typing? I think I covered most of the questions today. It was quite nice, and I seem to be getting better at this. Last time I was, if you guys remember, I was drinking lots of water last time, but this time I'm not. Although I don't have a pretty bad throat. Winter is here, so you guys probably can't see, but there is a heater under this table and it's kind of keeping me warm. Okay, Talat has come in and just now, and he says, hello, sir, I have IELTS score 5 band. Yes, Talat, what is your next question? Okay, that's in general. Okay, and what's your next question, please? My team is also pinging me and saying 5 minutes to go. All right, mentors, I shall look at that. Okay, Talat has written, anyway, I can't see what his rest of his question is, but Talat with a score of 5, it is very difficult to do anything really with a score of 5, and especially in general. And I think you've now written saying that you want to be an immigrant. I think it is almost impossible unless and until you have lots of money and you can come in as an investor. So I think with 5 general, and so it will probably be very, very difficult. You're also writing, you'd also like to look at work. But now, frankly, I think it's, in our language, we call it a futile immigration matter. So I don't think you should attempt to do something like this, because English is a prime requirement when you're planning to go overseas. So be careful. Somebody or the other will end up telling you stuff like, no, but I can get you work visa, pay me X amount of money. Just be careful. Don't fall for scams like this. And I think you need to work on your English before you plan to go overseas. Okay. Magdalene Samuel. Okay, sir. Magdalene Samuel asks, sir, I have a bachelor in business management. Do I have any opportunity to migrate? If yes, in what channel? Magdalene, as I keep saying in all my broadcasts and also my videos, if you're not in New Zealand, and if you don't have a job in New Zealand, or if you don't have an offer of job in New Zealand, or if you have not studied in New Zealand, and if you don't have a master's for 2 years and have a master's or PhD, and if you don't get 160 points for your age, qualification, spouse qualification, work experience, so on and so forth, if you don't meet all this criteria, migration is ruled out directly. But what we would like to do is get in touch with you and show you other pathways. One of the pathways that my team and I, we actively promote, is called migration through education. A lot of people say you guys push it quite aggressively, but the fact is that is what is the pathway that seems to be the most viable right now. So obviously we will push it aggressively, because New Zealand requires skilled migrants, and a lot of skilled migrants who are in different parts of the world want to come to New Zealand. And if the direct gate is shut, there will be sometimes other gates, and all we are doing as a company is showing those gates and the ways to do it. So I mean, some people, there was some other guy once who wrote saying, you guys push aggressively the education pathway, because that is working. I mean, and the way we are doing our selection is so good from day one that our students are going on to acquire that pathway. So while the normal general percentage of international students moving up to residency is around 19 or 20%, I think if we do an analysis of AJV students, we probably will go on to be 75 or 80% success of our students. So work with us. And Magdalene, my team tells me that you're not in touch with us yet. So please connect with my team once this session is over, and we will put other options in front of you. No pressure. It's for you to go through those options. You like it, you take it. You don't like it, that's fine. We will remain good friends. Okay, cool. Right. Sakul Kundra says, please explain teacher skilled immigration process, please. My wife, Bhavna, teaching in IB school in Fiji, French and commerce. Okay, good background. I think teachers have also gone out of the, yeah, teachers are also gone. They used to be there in uh, the long-term skill shortage list before, Shakul. And this will be the last answer, I think, because my team is now saying. Um, okay, I think there is another. Yeah, so just coming back to your question, Sakul, immigration process is the same as I just explained to Magdalene before. You will have to either be in New Zealand with a job, and because your wife is a teacher, she needs to also be a registered teacher, or you need to have a job offer, plus you need to get that 160 points, or she should have studied here for 2 years, master's or PhD. So I would suggest have a connect with my colleague Mary Joseph, and we will examine both your CVs and see what possibility is there. I'm going to take one last question, and this is from so now one of our, person from Bangladesh called Shamsul Arifin. He did not type here in the chat, but he sent another message. I don't know how my team has put it to me on Skype. He says he's got a degree in electrical engineering, and he also applied to the Masters of IT program in Waikato University and got offered to do a 60-point certificate program. And then if I pass that program, I can attend the 180-point master's degree. I have two questions. What are the chances for me to get a student visa, since I'll have to first complete the 60-point certificate program, and can AJV help me with their services since I'm based in Bangladesh? Absolutely, not a problem. We have dealt with Bangladeshi clients before. We have been working with clients from everywhere across the world. I mean, this is again another misconception people have, that AJV works only with Indian clients. Not true. We are working with clients from Bangladesh, from Sri Lanka, from Pakistan, from Dubai, from Brazil, from some African countries. We work with clients from Egypt. We work with clients from Singapore. So absolutely, we are happy to help you, Shamsul. Uh, what are the chances for me to get a student visa? I think because the course you're choosing and the university you're choosing and your own background in electrical engineering, when I look at it all put together, I think your chances of a student visa are pretty high. And you say, I also did get offers from Canadian universities. So can you provide a strong basis for me to choose New Zealand over Canada as my next destination? Thanks. Okay. Right. This is like asking me to say, which is a Ferrari better or a Lamborghini better. I mean, obviously, I can't compare. I mean, that's probably a very stupid analogy, but I'm sure you guys realize I'm into motorsports, so I do tend to use a lot of car analogies, but I think that's a wrong analogy. Canada is a fantastic country. I think it rates very highly in a lot of areas. So I have a lot of respect for Canada. And in fact, a lot of our local, not our AGV students, but a lot of local international students in New Zealand who are in touch with us also keep asking us, saying, hey, look, can you help us to move to Canada? I think it's a good country. Weather-wise, I think New Zealand would be better. I think also in terms of a visa process, I think New Zealand is better. I think it's a very, very fair system as far as New Zealand visa system is concerned. I'm sure so is Canada, but because I'm a professional working with the New Zealand immigration system, I can vouch for the fact that there is a lot of fairness and natural justice. And I think the most important aspect is for you, Shamsul, is that electrical engineering is in our long-term skill shortage list. So we are openly saying in New Zealand we want to attract guys like you into this country. I'm not sure if it's the same in Canada, although it is a much bigger economy. So, but I think with your background and obviously if you've been accepted into already University of Waikato, I think that is one reason you're already being looked at as a very good potential for New Zealand. So I would say it's a good toss-up between both, but weather-wise, New Zealand is better. We want electrical engineers, so you'll have good opportunities. And probably the most important reason you must choose New Zealand is cricket, my friend. You're from Bangladesh, and I know how passionate you guys are about cricket. In fact, I don't know if you guys can see, but behind me is some of all those caps you see there are some of my cricket stuff, that one there. So that cap is my Cricket World Cup cap when I was a volunteer Hamilton Seddon Park, and I was playing a role with the commentary team. So, but I actually invited some of the Indian team management to come to my home to have dinner with us, and it was a great evening. But jokes apart, New Zealand is a very inviting country, very safe. Another very important reason, because obviously you're a Muslim, is very accepting of all religions and faiths and cultures, and even sexual orientation, is absolutely fine here in New Zealand. So do your own research, but yeah, we would love to welcome a young smart person here into New Zealand. Okay, so I'm going to wind it up now, guys, because I think I've already overshot my time. Time up. See, one of my colleagues, Jyoti, says time up. Okay, done. Okay, so as always, wonderful to catch up with all you guys. As we're getting closer and closer to the July, August, September intake, I'll probably will be doing a few more of the sessions. So feel free to come and participate in this chats, because we would love to be honest with you and be helpful. So yeah, if you're thinking about New Zealand seriously, please talk to us and we will give you our most honest and our most open advice to you guys. All right. So till the next time, as we say in Maori, kakite ano. I'm going to teach you some Maori, which will see you later. And thanks for joining. All of you who are asking more questions, we will connect with you and we will answer it offline. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.